feud between two neighbors over a fence is heating up. A Kitchener homeowner put up a fence in his backyard, but when he wanted to attach it to his neighbor's pre-existing posts, it caused tension. And now the neighbor removed his own fence, leaving a gap between the two properties. Let's go to CTV's Heather Senoran for more on this story. Heather, you had a chance to speak with both homeowners.
One on camera and the other off camera, Tony. The first neighbor says he just wanted some privacy for his family and their dog, but now there's a big chunk of fencing missing.
And he just grabbed a sawzall and decided to cut it down.
Peter Christodoulou says he no longer spends time in his backyard after a dispute with the neighbor behind him over this fence. The fence you see around the rest of the yard was put up by Christodoulou's contractor in the summer of 2023, but he says his neighbor had a problem with it.
When it was time to put up boards, he came over with a hammer and started hammering away, telling the contractor to stop.
The neighbor already had a fence up, and Christodoulou was trying to connect to his neighbor's two existing posts, as he says his neighbor's posts are too close to the property line.
But I'm not going to put a second line of a fence because somebody doesn't want me to join to their two posts, right?
A year later, Christodoulou says his neighbor removed his own fence, leaving a gap of privacy.
Like, you just slayed yourself $1,000 at least, if not a little more, in wood. When if all you wanted was me to pay half, you could have just came and talked about it, and we would have talked about it reasonably, right?
The neighbor did not want to appear on camera, but told CTV News he tried to speak to Christodoulou twice prior to the fence being built to have a conversation, but it didn't end up happening. Christodoulou says he doesn't want to speak with him.
I mean, I go over there, I get arrested, I lose my practice, I lose my job, destroy my life over some petty neighbor that wants half of a fence that he put up 2 years before my property was built, right?
According to the city of Kitchener, there is no obligation or requirement for a homeowner to construct a fence, as long as it meets height and location requirements, adding that any disputes regarding property boundaries or cost sharing are considered civil matters and should be addressed through legal counsel if necessary.
So I only built from here over, and then
Christodoulou says he and his wife are considering moving.
if I have to sell my house at a loss, I'm going to go after him for it. This is reasonable enjoyment.
The neighbor says he will be seeking his own legal counsel. Christodoulou says he was told if he were to put up his own post to continue the fence, he would lose about 3 feet of his own property, and he says he doesn't want to lose that much of his backyard. Tony.
All right, CTV's Heather Senoran with that story. Heather, thank you for that.